All right, so 5-colored Niv-Mizzet Reborn here. So when he comes into play, you reveal the top 10 cards of your deck. For each color pair, you grab a card that's exactly those color pairs, and you draw it into your hand. So we've got a bunch of 2-color, multicolored things in our deck. So when our Niv-Mizzet hits the board, he's able to draw a bunch of cards for us. The thing I really want to talk about, because obviously just all the spells in this deck are just like pretty reasonable, good spells. The thing I really want to talk about before we dive into the matches is how to construct a mana base like this. So one of the things to note is that your mana base and the spells you play kind of go hand in hand. So something that I would like to take note of is that aside from these 5 and 6 mana spells, which are more expensive, so they tend to be easier to cast later in the game, you'll notice that all of my cheap spells only have single mana costs in their casting costs. So that helps us cast our spells a little bit more consistently. This deck is also base blue-black, so you'll notice Thought Erasure and Discovery are some of our cheapest cards. Those are the ones we're definitely looking to cast on 2 consistently. So blue and black are the colors of mana that I have most represented in my mana base here. So I've kind of got my lands sorted out by these are blue lands, these are black lands, these are blue and black lands. So this mana base has 8 plus 6 blue lands, 8 plus 6 black lands. So we have 14 blue and 14 black, which gives us a very reasonable chance to cast Thought Erasure on the second turn of the game. Also notably important is that all of these lands make either blue or black mana, which means there's only 5 lands in our 27 that don't cast Thought Erasure on 2. So notably, all of our temples here also cast Thought Erasure on 2, so that way we can play a temple on 1 and then play, a shock land on 2 to be able to cast that erasure. The other colors in our mana base have 11 white and then 10 green and 10 red, or 10 green and 10 red. We do have some 2-cost spells for these, but these are also removal spells too, so if we can't cast them on exactly 2, it's not as big of a deal. So let's go ahead and cast, dive on into some games here and see how they go. Yeah, that's true. Gateway Plaza technically doesn't cast it on 2. That's a by 3. I think Arena might be having some server issues this morning. I tried to log in and it kicked me back out and I restarted. Okay, so it's gonna let me in. Good. Maybe. It let me into the queue. Is it gonna let other people into the queue to play with us? That's the real question. Hey, what's going on, Slagdo? Yeah, I always like to do extra when the set release is fresh. If Arena will allow. I was planning to go all day, but if Arena's gonna have some major issues, maybe that won't happen. Yeah, I hit that too. I actually posted a screenshot. It's unable to log in, could not resolve player inventory. It gives you a form and a logout link. And I restarted the client and it let me back in. All right, look at that. We got a match. Hopefully the match isn't a slideshow. I don't think I can keep this one. I'm a black source away from casting the Oathakaya, but I'm 2 lands off of casting either of these. I think I'm going to go ahead and mulligan here. This is fine. I've got, I get to toss back a Niv, and I have the Chromatic Lantern to help the fact that my lands aren't being too kind, that I can cast the Discovery on 2 to hopefully dig to the 3rd land. Really glad we bottomed the second Niv since there was a 3rd on top. Would love an untapped land here. Perfect. Is that the 4th one? That's the 4th one, right? All right. Well, let's bin that one and pick this land up here. And then we've got 2 draw steps to hit another untapped land to go Lantern into Niv on 4. And even if we miss the land for Niv on 4, we can play Teferi on 4 because the Chromatic Lantern will be fixing for us. Perfect. Just like we drew it up. Yeah, exactly. Again, I agree. In fact, it might be right to play a third Discovery, but I didn't want to have too many blue-black cards, so I already have 8. Is it accurate to classify this Twitch stream as a cartoon? Probably. Hey, the OmniZ, thank you for the 26 months of support, and the Drowning Cow Live, thank you for the 20 months. So we're getting a Teferi, we're getting a Knight. I think I want to take the Thought Erasure here. That doesn't seem unreasonable. I think it's better than these two. Yeah, the animation on Niv is really good. His borderless card is also fantastic. It just like sits here and glows. So next turn we'll be able to go Temple, Erasure, Teferi, or Temple, Erasure, Knight of Autumn, depending on what we want to do. You've taken my Niv-Mizzet. So that means we're going to go Erasure, Temple, Teferi, because we'll bounce the Niv back to our hand. Yep, don't need another one of those. And like they knew about one of these Teferis, right? Like they saw it. Othakai is actually a pretty good pickup here because it's gonna help us. It's gonna help us not die to their random Mana Dork beats. This is also probably gonna be useful for that. Next turn might actually be like tapped land, Knight is a 4/3, Othakaya your Jade Light. This is kind of scary. Alright, now, with Nissa looming... Do I just jam this again, looking for a Nissa answer? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards right now. I think I'm supposed to just play out 3 things this turn. Oh, Niv is a Nissa answer. Yeah, that's true. He's just a 6/6. Yeah, let's just do that. Oh, I love this deck. We're gonna have to discard some cards, but that's fine. I'm actually not gonna take the Knight. Can I unselect this? Why can't I unselect this? I think I have to take them. I'm gonna have to discard some cards to hand size here. That's fine though. Alright, so let's spin this and this, I think. Panamone, thank you for the very generous tier 3 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Tier 3 subs support me a whole lot extra, so you can submit a deck every month using the deck forum as linked on my website. You can also bump a deck in the queue that's already in there by a whole lot if you prefer to do that. So just let me know and I'd be happy to get you sorted. So even if they attack with everything, I like eat this, take 5, then like Othakaya just destroys them next turn. No changes in all formats. Very little explanation of why. This game did not feel particularly close. Hey, Captain NF, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed this month with that. Hope you're having a fantastic Saturday.
Forgive me.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube stuff. Yeah, like I said, if you don't have anything specific right now that you want to see, you can bump something up in the deck queue, or you're welcome to wait a few days if you want to think about it and submit something later. This is my 6/6. There are many like it, but this one is mine. I'm gonna go ahead and just do this. Alright, so this is probably a veto matchup. Angrath Rampage may or may not be good. Extra trophies are definitely good. This is probably fine. Hey, it's Valerie. Thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Enter the God Eternal is probably a little bit slow overall. Ravager Wurm. They probably don't have that many creatures that I want to fight. I wouldn't mind dragging my curve down a little bit, I don't think. We played this deck last season, and it had a pretty good run when we played it then. So this is our first match with it today. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like my configuration of that archetype a lot. I think it's very competitive. I think I want to leave 3 Oaths in so I can buffer my health total like we saw in that last game. I want to trim... This card's probably not that amazing here. Well, I guess it's nice for picking my Niv back up in the face of them stealing it. Let's trim up Bedeck. Yeah, I agree. I agree. No, I think it's fine. Like, I don't have any green-red cards left to get with Niv, but, like, leaving 1 in doesn't guarantee that I'm gonna see it. Like, if your Niv's just drawing, like, 2 to 4 things, that's fine. Like, you don't need to draw 10 cards with Niv, right? Like, you could theoretically draw 10 if you're really lucky, but, like, that's not why you're playing the card. It seems a little slow, but I think it's fine. Just gotta get Blood Crypt on 1 is perfect. Sure, but I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying, Geoff. Like, you don't need to draw 10. You're not like, oh, I need to draw 10 for this card to be playable. So there isn't a direct link to the Discord server. There are instructions. So if you need to be, most notably for those instructions to work for, you're going to need to be on a desktop computer. I'm actually pretty okay leaving them these effects with all my ways I have to destroy enchantments. So I think I'm just gonna pick their perfect. I'm just gonna pick their threats apart here. Because, like, I have this trophy, and, like, Niv's probably going to draw me more ways to kill enchantments. Like, bringing in enchantment removal to interact with my Niv-Mizzet seems incredibly loose. Although, I guess I want to take the Ixalan's binding so they don't bind my lanterns. Yeah, that's probably what I want to do. And I think I'm going to keep that extra land there. This means, even if this land actually means, even if they kill this, I get to cast this next turn. What's up, bud? You're hungry? Mommy's upstairs. She'll help you get some food, okay? Daddy's working right now.
I don't want to play next time.
You want to play next time? Mommy will play on the Switch with you right now. If you ask her, she'll set up the Paw Patrol game for you.
No,
Are you okay with giving Chad some wings? Definitely, Red Bull. And good morning. I was watching a little bit of your tournament before I popped on. Good old draw 3. And again, like I said, he picked up a trophy there. So even if they prison realm him, like, they know I have the answer heads up. That's a play. That is a play. Those are arena codes. So if you go into the store page, if you are a connoisseur of Modern, Red Bull is hosting a Modern tournament today and tomorrow, and they're live now. I believe they're in their second round of Modern. So we're gonna go ahead and do. Am I gonna do that? I think I'm actually going to Tamiyo pick Thought Erasure up. Is that rude? That's definitely rude, but I think it's the line. I think this sounds good. Yeah. Well, that was not particularly close. Oh, we could have bedazzled them and killed one of their 4 lands. That was definitely the line. I forget that Bedazzle is just any non-basic land, right? Huh? I'm gonna keep this. I think we have a lot of draws that make this hand fine. And I've got some temples here. Like a white source makes this castable. This is castable on 6 later. Opponent's playing something slow, which is nice. So looking for white mana. You got 14 sources of white if we count our Chromatic Lanterns in there. Really excited to see this come down as a 4/3. That's a castable spell, so we can dig for Chromatic Lantern with this one. You are a touch late, but you'll do. You get to surveil us a little bit. Yep. All right. Perfect. Look at that. So this will be green, blue, black, red, and then that's white, so I can drop Niv-Mizzet next turn. And then it might actually be the question of... Huh. Do I even actually want to drop Niv-Mizzet next turn? I think I actually want to Oathakaya here, because if I shock this in and then they kill this, I actually die, right? Like if they hit removal for Niv. And this buys me 2 turns. They're gonna hit me to 5. And next turn I could actually play Ravager Wurm and fight this, but that's not particularly good. That one will be good to fight though. So this is untapped because I have Blood Crypt and I have green, green, red. Yep. Let's haste this bad Mamma Jamma and fight that one. And then we are unfortunately going to end up in a position where we're going to be dead to a piece of spot removal. But I don't think we have any lines to play around that. We'd love to draw an Oath or like an Assassin's Trophy to be able to kill this. They have another flying threat. We are dead. Ooh. Untapped land is really good here. So now I need to think long and hard about how I'm casting this. Can I cast this in a way that lets me leave up... This lets me leave up Trophy, Bedeck, and this lets me leave up Trophy and Bedeck. And Erasure, yep. So hoping to hit Assassin's Trophy here. Perfect. And then we actually hit Bedeck there, so we're gonna Bedeck this. Oh, it doesn't leave up Bedeck, does it? Yeah, okay, so actually I couldn't leave this up and this up, right? So I do have to cast this one. So I'm killing this inside of their upkeep, because when this dies, it creates 2 1/1s, and the 1/1s will be summoning 6. So if I kill it on my turn, these 1/1s would be able to attack me. Yeah, I'm planning to do a normal 8-hour stream. And if our viewer count is good, I might go longer than that. But it's hard to know how the weekends are gonna go. So I can Knight plus Tamiyo. I think that's probably what I want to do.
Let us have a storied battle worth retelling.
That was some tight stabilization. Some D-Spark seems good. They've got it's really good at exiling Seraph. Angrath Rampage probably really bad against the Shalai deck, so let's trim that. Mortify seems okay. Extra trophies seem fine, potentially. Knight of Autumn, again, seems a little bit mediocre. Enter the God Eternal is probably slow-ish. It does kill their stuff, but it's 5 mana is a lot of mana. Honestly, I probably don't mind the extra Oathakaya. Bedeck killing... Bedeck probably doesn't kill that many of their angels. Maybe I don't mind a Teferi. Let's play like 1 hero of Dominaria. Hey, champions. Thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. I mean, maybe. I don't think you can strictly say it's a mistake to not play Cruelty, because, like, there's a lot of different black cards that kill Ripjaw Raptor. Also, I think even last season, playing some number of Cruelty was often right, because Cruelty exiles, which is really clean. Like, I was playing like 1 to 2 Cruelty in a lot of the black decks last season too. Yeah, this seems fine. Let's give it a go. I like when we have an early contender for the deck of the day, nice and early. Magma Spray reprint when? I'm not even sure that Magma Spray would be that good right now, because one of the creatures you really want to be able to exile is Rekindling Phoenix. So this hand doesn't have an untapped land for Thought Erasure on 2, but I'm on the draw and I have a Scry, and our colors work. So like sometimes there's gonna be a number of games just like your first 3 lands are tapped in this deck, and that's just kind of how it goes. That's fine though. Hey Zombie, thanks for the tip, I appreciate it. Yep. Duress, sure, probably. I wouldn't be surprised to see him take Lantern, honestly. For Azurius Tempo, sounds good. We're gonna play something closest to that today, actually. The blue-white flyers. Yeah, that's not bad. I think I'm actually just playing this on 1 now. So I can Erasure on 2 guaranteed. If I play this on 1, this is coming into play tapped. But if I play this on 1, this comes in untapped. Ooh, I don't remember if I boarded in my 3rd Bedeck or not. That one's pretty scary against us. I guess my 6/6s block it eventually, though. We're gonna go ahead and take this one because it leaves behind friends, and we'll leave that right on top because that'll take the Bellhorn before it does anything. Doesn't Phoenix rotate next set? Yeah, that's true. That's true. That it does. The Command the Dreadhorde fall off the map. Again, like, one of the things that I really would like to instill in all of you out there, what you're currently playing against on the ladder and what you're seeing me play against on the ladder is not a meaningful representation of what tournament Magic is going to look like with this set. So we're currently in the experimental phase. Even players who are like spiky players are like trying to figure out what new cards might be the new spike deck for the season. Like, there is a lot to try out and explore. It was a fantastic draw here, obviously. Although, honestly, even just a red source on top of my deck would have been good, because it would have let me cast this Niv-Mizzet. So I have green, blue, black, white, so just missing red mana. Gosh, I'm proud of the mana base in this deck. Maybe I was actually supposed to keep that land there. Yeah, especially on Magic Arena, where there's like so many different Or it was like, it's very easy to get new cards. Brett Nelson's pretty I mean, you could argue he was playing Esper, which was the anti-Nexus deck already. I wonder if we'll see them attack with both of these. Yeah. So like, if I block here, these trade, and I don't think I want to trade. So I'm gonna go to 5 here. Why Niv over Dispersal to kill Oketra? Yeah, maybe Dispersal is better. I don't know. I kind of tunnel visioned. It's very possible that just killing Oketra was better. I agree. So I get to despark this, and then I get to play a tapped land, and we're gonna trophy this. I'm gonna be going to 2 on this combat step. Honestly, we might want to dispersal one of these vanguards. Honestly, that's probably where this is heading. And they know about this. I guess I technically should have done this during their upkeep, because if they drew a Veil of Summer, they would have been able to kill me there, right? And they shuffled, so their Oketra's gone now, which is nice. Wow, brutal. Good beats, I guess. Cardis, thanks for 60 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That's like especially brutal considering the fact that like they didn't see any cards that the Othekai had killed last game, and they just like left it in. That's rough. All right, let's cut these Ravager Wurms and get a couple of Angrath Rampage back into my deck, because those deal with they're not, Angrath Rampage is not good against their Shalai, but it does deal with the Danto Vanguard, so I don't know if I want that many Rampages. I think the Teferi's fine. The Teferi technically tucks the Vanguard. Yeah, gosh, I think if they hadn't had reach in their deck, if they would just like had more creatures, we probably would have been en route to stabilization there, or even honestly, even turning the corner. Like they were down to 10 and we had a 6/6 flyer, right? Yeah, sand has all my colors in it, so sign me up. Definitely in it to win it here. All 5 colors and untapped lands. Let's go. Hey, Muffin Button, thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate it. Happy Saturday morning. Let's Discovery. I'm gonna bin this and keep the Chromatic Lantern, I think. Instant coffee drink with the 14-month resub. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Big Show with the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Do you have a way to kill my lantern? They showed us Night of Autumn game 1, so I wouldn't be surprised if this dies. It didn't die. God bless. Land. Well, I mean, that's technically the land I asked for, right? That's technically the land I asked for. Alright, so do I want to despark this? I kind of think I want to Oath the Paradise Druid here. Is that crazy? It's more mana efficient. It slows them down a bit. Because like even if they go land Shalai next turn, I can like trophy plus despark. My health total's still pretty high. I mean, you can play more copies of Discovery to see the cards you care about more consistently. I think this card's pretty good. Wow, if that's their play, that's so good for us. Trigger. Even as the draw two, still great. Teferi will get to bounce this, which is nice. So we'll probably go Despark this, Teferi bounce Oath. This will kill Teferi, Oath will kill this. Pretty good exchange for us overall. That's not a bad one. Not bad. .jpg. Do I use this discovery to dig for a land? I don't have that many untapped lands in my deck. I guess if I brick on an untapped land, I can trophy this turn. I do think I want to hit another land here. And I have all my colors at this point, right? So I can ditch the extra lantern, because even if they kill this, I'm fine. The only M20 cards in this deck are temples. Because none of the multicolored, none of the 2-color multicolored cards in the new set are particularly good for this deck. So I have 8 mana total, so I can Niv plus Oath next turn. Yikes, losing my Oath really sucks, because my health total is getting a little bit low. Hopefully Niv's gonna find us another Tamiyo or another Oath. Hey, what's up? Thank you for continuing your sub, Gifty. Happy Saturday to you. I do kind of have to worry about my health total a little bit, right? Because they showed us Othakai in the second game, so like there is breach in their Abzan deck, which is a little worrisome. Woof. I wonder if they're gonna ignore Teferi here and try and run me down. Yeah, I think so. That's the line. I think that's the line. That's another Othakaya. That's a Bedeck. Been enjoying watching the VODs while doing my summer desk job. Thanks for all the good content. Well, thanks for keeping me around. So now I have to decide what I want to do here. Do I have lines that allow me to play around removal spell plus Othakaya? So if I Oath this, I go to 9, and then they kill this, they hit me to 5, I go to 4. So yeah, I think that's fine. So I think I just Oath the Chupacabra like I planned to before they duress me. It's really fortunate to draw a buddy land there. That didn't hurt us. Keeps our health total higher. And this other Teferi is going to allow me to do the run back, the rebuy my Oath, replay my Oath, buffer my life total. And then, because I have this Thought Erasure here, I'm going to get to play with information heads up on the table. So then at that point, we're only going to be soft to like top deck Oath, which is pretty good. A number of answers here. Bio Ooze. That one is not too big of a deal, because I'll get to trophy this and then Bedeck this. So let's start. Actually, I can draw step this Thought Erasure, right? Yeah, we can totally draw step this Thought Erasure. So I want to kill this before they untap those, so they can't make tokens with it. I guess they don't have a green, but if I trophy them, they could get a green. All right, so let's trophy this, and then we'll Bedeck this. The Scavenging Ooze's Scoos is Biogenic Ooze Booze, asking the hard-hitting questions. And again, we want to kill this one now, before they have a chance to make friends with it. And then we'll go ahead and we'll pass here. And inside of their draw step, we can Thought Erasure off this Time Raveler. They had the Othakaya too. They had the Oath we were playing around. Like I said, really felt like that was like the only way we could lose that, right? It was like if they like oops Oath us. Netcaster Spider. Look at that incredibly useful cosmetic. Yeah, draw step Erasure is kind of miserable. Yeah, five mana Teferi rotates in the fall. 3 mana Teferi is with us till 2020, but 5 mana Tef will be gone in the fall. This website, what'sinstandard.com, is a good one. What'sinstandard.com is a good one for anyone thinking about wanting to know, keep up with what's what. Pretty easy mulligan there. 6-lander and doesn't even have all of our colors. Hashtag 5-color deck problems. 4-lander and has all of our colors. Exciting. We even have a Bedeck here. What am I tossing back? Gosh, I can toss back the Dragonskull and still have all my colors. This mana base is so perfect. It's so perfect, chat. Now, tossing back the Dragonskull does mean that I can't Bedeck on 2 and Lantern on 3. So, like, because I'm leading on this. Ooh, yeah. Maybe I should have let on Steam Vents. I don't know. I wanted to guaranteed be able to cast this on 3. I have no idea, Magoon. I shy away from making super strong conclusions one way or another early. All right, so I'm gonna Thought Erasure here because next turn I can go Chromatic Lantern and Bedeck in the same turn. That's a lot of beef. I think we're gonna take Cavalier of Thorns here, and then next turn we're gonna Bedeck this Dorko. Hey, Rogue, we only accept A+ mana bases around here. I think this mana base is great. Thanks. This is gonna be a 4/5, sure. We are 2-0. I think this deck's great. Man, this card's pretty bad against Time Raveler, huh? Like many Magic the Gathering cards, this card's kind of garbage against every Time Raveler. I would love a Niv-Mizzet. Rats. That's when we're supposed to draw a deck.
Trust me. You'll thank me later. I'll protect you.
Yep. Yikes. Flooding a little bit. Looking for a piece of card advantage. Hey, Aaron, thanks for the 39 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So fun line here. We get to do this. And then block it, which is kind of sweet. So get to trade 1-for-1 here, which is nice. They get to floop a friend back on top of their deck, but I'm fine with that. You just need to buy time to like live to a. They're gonna need to play an 8 whatever here. Oh, that's pretty good. So this is gonna die next turn anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and just play this out. Send this one back from whence it came.
Might be a bad idea.
Yikes.
He's
Trust me, I have a plan.
Sorry, Masha and the bear is incredibly exciting, chat. Calm is not a thing that is possible when you are watching Masha and the Bear. All right, so we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to be able to draw Niv-Mizzet, cast Niv-Mizzet, cast 2 removal spells. So we're not guaranteed dead here. If this hits, okay, we could survive. It's not lethal by stealing our only blocker if we hit 2 removal spells. That's why I explicitly called out 2 removal spells. Yeah, I think it's Thought Erasure, so we could try and take this, and I plus that, right? Dead to double manipulation, though. We're dead to Hydra fighting, too, right? Hey, D20 Bandit, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Keeping me around. D-Spark seems good. Angrath Rampage does not seem great. Veto might be okay. Teferi might be okay. Trophy seems really good. Night of Autumn doesn't look like it hits that much. Bedeck Bedazzle doesn't look like it hits that much. Yeah, Mortify's just like kill target, big dumb thing. Seems fine. Enter the God Eternal is not particularly fantastic. This is more for the aggro matchups. Oath of Kaya similarly for the aggro matchups. Maybe I cut all of these. They probably have Nissa in addition to Mass Manipulation, which probably makes Veto playable. Rampage is probably better than like Oath or these other removal spells that I have. Yeah, I agree, Omni. Give this a try. Seems fine. Yep. Sometimes this deck pretends it's 5 color gates, and that's okay. I'm gonna bottom that. It's a little bit greedy, but I definitely want to try and find a shock land. So I can play this on 3. Playing Drowned Catacomb here as opposed to Sunpetal Grove, because this way if I draw a Thought Erasure next turn, I can cast it. Go tap, play on Thought Erasure. And now bottoming that land might come back to bite us, but like my deck's playing 27 lands in it, so I'm pretty likely to draw a land even after skipping those there. Yikes. Famous last words, pretty likely to draw a land. Wow, are they playing Spell Pierce? They're playing Veil of Summer, sure.
Let's slow this down. Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
And they get Nissa. Cavalier Thorn, sure. Go ahead and bounce Cavalier here, and then Thought Erasure it. Oh, that's a lot of beef. It's probably just manipulation, right? Niv-Mizzet's just like bigger than everything else they have going on if I take the manipulation. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to keep that Sacred Foundry because they can kill this. Yeah, I'm dumb. Except they're not killing it. God bless. I definitely should have kept that Sacred Foundry, though. No Justice Stream. Oh, you know what? Was I supposed to worm them there? I could have wormed the Brontodon, right? Yeah, I could have wormed the Brontodon. Couple number of small mistakes here so far this morning. This fights as a 5 whatever. I probably don't need 2 of these at this point. I definitely want another land for next turn. 10 out of 10 should have shocked in a land, and Ravager Wurm fought this. I'm also going to be sure. No, I can actually cast this still. Maybe I should have taken a veto, because they do have mass manip in their bin, right? So like if I kill this Cavalier, they get mass manipulation back to their hand. I think I just let this happen, right? Because he's dying either way. And this way they don't get manipulation back to their hand.
You just let me know if you're up for round 2.
I think I just go ahead and Hero of Dominaria here. Because I can plus him and then despark.
Let's slow this down. Hurry!
What's going on, Thought? Yeah, our hand is pretty good. Hey, Pie Guy, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Oh, if I'd have exiled one of these, they would have had this for 1 less. But I think that's fine. Our hand's full too, so like we're basically just playing Battle Cruiser Magic, right? Hey, what's going on, Brian? Alright, so there's our manipulation popping back on top. Hop on top. So that would let me dig to a veto.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
That's not particularly good at the moment. Yeah, I should have taken a veto instead of this time, Raveler. There's a veto on the bottom of my library right now. We're gonna get to take these 2. All right, let's just dig for veto. Need to cast veto to win this game. Yeah, I think I punted this. I know there was much that we could do in the first game, but I'm just not going to be able to beat this card. Yeah, there's a Thought Erasure in my bin, but I don't have a 3-mana Teferi. This is 5-mana Teferi. For people that are saying Thought Draw Step Thought Erasure. I know that 3-mana Teferi's been the omnipresent one, but that was not the one we had in play. Oh, did I fuck that up too? I totally messed it up. Yeah, because I had 7 mana, right? I forgot that 3 mana. I forgot that 5 mana Teferi is gonna untap 2 of my lands. Yeah, I could have Tamiyo'd, down-ticked, picked up, and again, this is why the details matter, so bugger off. This is why it's important. So like, actually go through and talk about the lines. So like, the line there that I was missing that has a lot going on in it is Tamiyo down-tick, pick it up, play the next Teferi, plus it, and then the 5-mana Teferi untaps the 2 lands. So obviously I had Tamiyo and Teferi. The part that I was missing, which is why the details are important, is that 5-mana Teferi is going to untap 2 of our lands, which would give us the 8 and 9 mana to Thought Erasure during the draw step to take the mass manipulation away. The searching for trophy is optional. So if I trophy them, they choose not to search. Yeah, trophy and Field of Ruin are templated differently, which is super awkward considering they're like in the same cycle of cards. So they couldn't have played around if I would have Tamiyo'd plus Teferi 3'd though, and then had the 2 extra mana from Teferi 5, then I would have taken the manipulation, and I had enough health total that I could have taken the hit from the 10-10, and I had 3 planeswalkers out. So I think if I do that, I'm probably pretty favored to win from there. Unless they had, did you have a second manipulation in your hand, Trudon? If you had double manipulation, I was boned regardless, but if you only had the one on top of your deck, I think I was gonna get out of that with better play. Because my hand was so loaded, I just needed to not die to the manipulation. Yeah, so if I do that, and like the ramp decks tend to have a lot of air in them. So if I would have seen the fact that I was gonna get the 2 extra mana from the 5-mana Teferi, I would have been okay. And that's a great draw, because that draw, this draw means that I have all 5 colors of my mana, right? White, red, blue, black, green. I have Othakaya to not die right away. This deck's probably a good choice based on what we've been playing against on the ladder recently, because the ladder's been like no aggro and a ton of derpy mid-range, and this deck's got a lot of tools to be good against derpy mid-range. Monday and Wednesday I will be drafting, because Monday Nerd Girl's calling in to get me some help me practice drafting a little bit, and then Wednesday is a Twitch Rivals draft tournament. So we can still Niv-Mizzet next turn, right? There might be a question of if I want to, though, because my hand's gonna be pretty full, right? So like I could do this, but if he draws 3 cards, I have to discard the hand size. I think I'm gonna do this and then Othakaya their Teferi.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
We have Trophy to cover a big Planeswalker deal. I say if they tucked this Lantern, I could actually Ravager Wurm, eat this, kill this. No, I'm short double green. The old 5-mana 6/6 that draws 4. I think I want to just trophy their Teferi here. I'm doing this on their upkeeps. This way, if they have veto, they have to spend the mana on their turn. They do not. We just kill their thing. God bless. Yeah, I was saying if they use the Teferi to tuck my lantern, I would then be missing the second green reshard. So I was talking about in the instance where they use the Teferi and down ticked on this. I would not be surprised to see this die. Their deck's got a lot of removal in it. If they attack here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and block. This is a very obvious Uthakaya, but I think I'm fine with that exchange. Like, I've got a lot of value in my hand, and like if they're playing Oath of Kaya this turn, they're less likely to be playing out like a big bomb planeswalker, which means I can Thought Erasure that big bomb planeswalker. Speaking of Oath, this is probably not very useful. I think I just Thought Erasure plus Niv. Yep. That's a guaranteed Niv hit, so we'll leave that there. Maybe I'm supposed to erasure after Niv so I know what I'm getting. That's probably the case. It's casual draw 4. Thanks. I appreciate you, Niv. I actually want to keep the Bedeck Bedazzle because Bedeck Bedazzle cleans up Search for Azcanta, which is one of their outs from here. Yeah, Knight's not doing a whole lot. Are they gonna bounce my Niv? No. Fair. Harsh but fair.
I can no longer stand by and watch.
Oh yeah, I'd love another trigger on that here soon. Sign me up. So I think my line here is Teferi, bounce my Oath, replay my Oath. This gives me a chance to draw a land. Perfect. So they have Tyrant Scored in their hand, which they could use to bounce. My Wurm. So I want to guaranteed take their Teferi off the table this turn, because the only way they get back into this is if they get to start drawing cards, right? Just want to make sure they don't get to draw extra cards.
Don't worry, I got this.
Dueling you will be excellent research. The storied past holds our future.
We might need more divs. I agree. Oh no, chat. How do I hold all these cards? I can't hold all these magic cards. What a terrible travesty. I think I'm discarding some stuff to hand size here, and then I'm discarding some stuff to hand size, and then Thought Erasuring them.
I know I noted this somewhere.
What's the other card I have that's a win condition? Ravager Wurm. What do I even want to name here? What do I even want to name here? I don't have oh, good lord. I heard someone else say that this interface locks up. I think I name Enter. then I'm going to be... I want to draw step the Thought Erasure, so let's put a stop. Which does mean I have to discard the hand size, but that's fine. So let's ditch a Teferi, a Tamiyo, and a Knight. Maybe I don't need this many Nivs. Maybe I don't need that many Nivs. So I have 9 mana total. Alright, so I just need win conditions at this point, right? So let's like pick this Knight of Autumn back up. And then like play a 4/3. Play this with haste. Hey, Cronkanatomy, thanks for the half year support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one.
Trust me, I have a plan.
You and everybody else playing Standard, Dwight. You and everybody else playing Standard. Here there be dragons. It's funny, I think we've actually triggered Niv enough time that we've, like, looped around and are going to be seeing the same cards from earlier Nivs. I probably should have kept this extra Tamiyo. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, vomit.
To the library.
Well, that was the best draw. I probably should have been pressuring their life total more. I probably should have been pressuring their life total more. And again, like, this is just shows, in my opinion, one of the most frustrating and annoying parts about the Standard format, which is that, like, cards like this and cards like Mass Manipulation, like, there's just such big swings in this format to the point where it's frustrating. Really am not a big fan of how swingy the games are in this format. We're just like sitting here getting like incremental value, big, absurd, ridiculous swing happens. Just like, well, all of like, and just like all of the small incremental gameplay decisions that I've made up until this point are just completely invalidated and irrelevant now. It just like isn't a good gameplay experience. One of the many things that contributes to like the variety of bad gameplay experiences in this format. I'm like, I'm not just dead, but like, I'm not just dead, so maybe we should stop complaining. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, Veto there would have been good, but like, again, counter spells are largely bad in this format because of this card. These big giant Timmy cards that create these awkward, incredible gameplay swings, in large part, it only exists because 3-mana Teferi has largely pushed counter spells out of the format. Yeah, that's also true. Just because you're winning doesn't mean you don't need to not be frustrated. And like, did I even accomplish anything with all of this? Because like, they're just gonna get to Tamiyo pick Dreadhorde back up again, right? And that's the thing about this format is like the top decks just create such gameplay patterns where like even when I win the game, I like walk away sometimes and I'm like, this just wasn't fun. I'm like, anytime like someone wins your game and their conclusion was they didn't have fun winning, it's just like, maybe we need to rethink like why the designs in this game are the way they are. Yeah, I think they just get Dreadhorde back and it just doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, was I supposed to kill Tamiyo instead of Teferi?
My ancestors.
Teferi is guaranteed sustained card advantage, but Tamiyo guaranteed gets the card they want, right? Yeah.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have just killed the Tamiyo. Just like, games like this make me want to close Arena and load Underlords. I know I'm not alone in that. My playtest group currently has 3 other people in it who haven't loaded Arena in a month. Yeah, I just don't even want to play this match anymore. Let's just play a different match. Yeah, I mean, Magic Online sucks though, Deggles, is the issue. Like, we suffer through Magic Online to suffer through Magic Online to, like, get to those formats, but, like from a... And that's why, again, like, why the historic announcement is such a huge disappointment and a letdown, because, like, I really wanted to have, like, currently on Arena, if you are a constructed-only player and you are upset or frustrated with Standard on Arena, your only option is to close Arena. Like, that's your choice. And that's why I think it's so important that they have a meaningful, supported second constructed format on Arena, is because that way, like, again, Magic is just like a game where it's better when you get to play a variety of game modes, and Arena could have expanded itself to allow another constructed game mode with Historic, and instead they were just like, no, screw you, play more Standard. So, like, when you're disenfranchised with Standard, you're like, oh, I go suffer through Magic Online, or I go play something else like Underlords. That was one of those moments where I did let my emotions get the best of me there. I let the fact that they, like, top decked the best possible spell in their deck to get back into the game, meaning I didn't sit and think through what my Assassin Trophy should have been doing. So, like, I could have maybe clawed my way back into that game if I had played a little bit better. But at the end of it, it's just like not fun. Like, having like all my gameplay decisions that I made up until that point slowly gaining incremental value being validated by my opponent's single spell is just like, just not enjoyable for me. All right, mono blue, let's do it. Now, unfortunately, against mono blue, especially on the draw, this Chromatic Lantern's probably not going to resolve. We hit some white sources, though. That's nice. Am I binning this? I guess this is a guaranteed green source here, too. I'm gonna keep both of these. Am I? I kind of need another piece of removal, right? Yeah, maybe it's greedy to keep the temple. Alright, well, my spell's gonna resolve this turn, but does that matter in the face of this Tempest Shin? I think we're just dead. Bring in a bunch of removal spells here. Trim some of this more expensive top end that's never gonna resolve. I don't think I want Veto in this matchup. Maybe it's better than Tamiyo. It's probably better than Tamiyo, huh? probably better than Tamiyo. Alright, let's give it a try. I've been watching a lot of other streamers, and I've heard a number of people say that they think Esper isn't going to be a good deck anymore. It's just so weird to me to hear people say that. Like, putting any weight into, like, what random people are slamming on the ladder in the first week is so weird. Most likely we're going to see people show up to the first tournament, and all the decks that were good before are still going to be good. I mean, the Pro Blue Dino is, like, good against Mono Blue, sure, but they can just race it a lot of the time, right? Especially if you're on the draw. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fine, but, like, expecting, like, to play that card on 4 and, like, have it win you the game, I think is overestimating. Lead on Godless Shrine, so if we draw a blue source, we can Thought Erasure on 2. Hit, like, Drowned Catacomb or something. I'm gonna shock this in so I can Bedeck in case they play something. Maybe I should have Bedecked that at end of turn. Yeah, people are talking about the Pro Blue Dino in the context of this matchup, not in the context of it's unbeatable against Esper. Man, they really love jamming Tempest Shin on 3, huh? What if they have a second one? I mean, so, like, I think your conclusion there is bad, J-Ray. 36 Planeswalkers would do that. It wasn't 36 Planeswalkers that, like, made War of the Spark super impactful. It was, like, 3 of the Planeswalkers. It doesn't take 36 cards to, like, make a giant impact on a format. It takes, like, a few really powerful cards to make a huge impact on a format. Just go ahead and kill Storm Tamer. I want to kill this anyways, so that way I can draw a removal spell to kill this. Yeah, Teferi, Narset, Nissa. The rest are like, whatever. Like, they show up in places, but the format-defining ones are definitely those 3. So, I think I waited turn here so I can Rampage plus Veto. I also tap my lands in a way it doesn't let me cast Rampage, so I'm glad we wanted to wait a turn anyways. So, I've heard people illicit complaints about Nissa. And I think people's complaints about Nissa being too good are unfounded. The actual issue with Nissa, in my opinion, is Llanowar Elves. Llanowar Elves is an incredibly powerful Magic the Gathering card. Nissa would be far less offensive if she wasn't happening turn 3 on the play. Might be stabilizing here. Niv-Mizzet would be a good draw. We can cast him. This is it's like a removal spell that cantrips, right? And they either have lands or counter spells in their hands, so. Yeah, Tamiyo's a good example of one that I feel like is in the format but isn't like super defining. The slow grind towards death. 20 cards, no nivs. Journal entry 2675, still no Niv-Mizzet. That's true. She is very good against Nexus. Or good in Nexus. Wizards retorted. Alright, let's try one more. We had 2 or 3 good matches to start. We had 2 matches where I made bad decisions and we lost, and then I think that was the first match we lost where there weren't any other alternative decisions I could make. I missed the line against the Mass Manipulation deck, and then the Esper Dreadhorde deck. I just let it slip away after tilting off about them top decking Dreadhorde. So, one of the things I really like to try and drive home, because I feel like the discussion around cards like Teferi and Wilderness Reclamation get muddied by people talking about cards like Nissa and Thought Erasure. Like, a lot of people just I feel like they want to ban everything. There's always going to be cards that are better than other things. Playing with powerful cards is fun. We shouldn't ban cards because they're strong. In my opinion, the reason why Teferi and the card Wilderness Reclamation, which is the card Teferi was printed to hose, would be good ones to remove is because the play patterns they generate are miserable. Teferi takes one of the best parts of Magic, the interactive instant speed interaction, and just removes it from the game. It takes the thing that many people play Magic to enjoy and says, nah, brah, you can't do that anymore. Don't worry about it. It's incredibly frustrating. All right, so we're going to keep this and ditch the Temple of Silence, I think, here. Because we'll do this on 1, and then this brings these into play untapped. Just need to draw some spells. We'll be able to cast whatever we draw. Historic is definitely coming in the fall. It's, however, coming as a bit disappointment. They basically announced that Historic's a throwaway format that they're ignoring. That's not going to be supported. In fact, if Wizards didn't have to support Historic, we probably wouldn't see anything coming from it. It's coming, it's just literally going to be the standard format. Which is not what I wanted and not what many people that I've talked to wanted. Basically Historic's coming, but they'd rather you continue play standard. Which is unsurprising, I guess. Maybe I wasn't supposed to shock that in. I don't know, I feel like if they played a second 1-drop, I was going to trophy it there. Is this the same person? That was a fast down pair. That's another sign that, and this is, I bet WotC's, I bet they're going to be scrambling to make changes on the back end too, because this season, I have had more repairings into the same people than I have ever had playing Magic Arena. So that can't possibly be good for Wizards of the Coast, that there's all this repairing happening. So I'm trophying the Curious Obsession as opposed to the Siren Storm Tamer because they can't dive down to save this here. It makes them have Spell Pierce. I binned the Tamiyo because it costs 4 mana, and I'm currently getting beaten down, so I'd like to just draw spells that interact sooner than that. We do finally have M20 cards in the overlay, that's true. That is true. Alright, if we hit an untapped land next turn, we can start playing Ravager Wurms, but I'm not sure that that's going to be enough. Even if they don't have counterspells, they might race us. If we're lucky and they don't have counterspells, we're probably okay. We can eat this and block this. I mean, I thought it was because it was early in the season and people just weren't Mythic earlier this week, but I queued back into the same person in Diamond 2 matches in a row here, which is, like, pretty telling. That resolved, okay. So you're saying there's a chance. Mustfall Casting, thanks for 17-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. What browser are you using, Brian? I'm gonna get Essence captured. And I don't really want to play against Mono Blue again. There isn't a formal invite link to the Discord, so you can go ahead and follow the directions here to pop on in there. I wonder if 201 is the bottom of Mythic, because there's probably not that many people in Mythic right now, and we've done a lot of losing since we broke into Mythic. I mean, this current standard format is pretty high power level too. Like, and that's why I wish we could get those old cards to play with, because I think it would be fun to solve. Even if it ends up being a dumpster fire, you know, 5 or 6 months later, they could adjust it with a ban list, right? But like figuring out what is actually good in a format that's, you know, bigger than this is one of the fun things in Magic. Like when Modern was new and being figured out, that was one of my favorite times to be playing Magic. What's going on, Mustfall? The Grixis Urza deck. That's the Thought Foundry one, right? That one is not currently in the deck queue. Definitely not in there. I'm gonna keep this. Any third land lets us cast Othakaya. If we're lucky, we can cast Thought Erasure on 2. I mean, I think expecting them to go back to Origins is unrealistic. I think the people expecting them to code half a dozen sets were expecting too much. But I think the people like myself asking for, hey, can you give us the stuff you already have programmed? I don't think that was unreasonable. I call this game of Magic 27 lands later, the Jeff Hoagland story. Morning Wunk. Yeah, you can explicitly disable the overlay. You must have done that at one point, Brian. Hey, Alec, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Look at that. I think I Thought Erasure here to try and hit my land drop for next turn. Also, if I like play this and they play 5 mana Teferi, I'm really sad. Or 3 mana Teferi and bounce it. I'm going to take this Veto and then plan to Erasure that one later. Ideally, we draw an untapped land next turn and I get to go Chromatic Lantern plus Thought Erasure in the same turn. Yikes. Perfect. It was gonna be a yikes and then we recovered. Yeah, even requesting SOI and ENM would be some work. So, assuming they don't hit a veto here in this card or this card, next turn we get to go Lantern into Rampage, Edict your Teferi. They have a card that interacts with this? They do not. So I assume I'm losing Niv-Mizzet here. We're in an okay spot. Not amazing, but fine. If they hit a piece of sustained card advantage before we find a Niv-Mizzet or a Planeswalker ourselves, we could be in a little bit of trouble. Wow, they didn't take Niv-Mizzet. Alright. Let's teach you to have a little goddamn respect for the dragon. Alright, you can mortify my dragon, but he's gonna draw 4. Is that cool? Is that cool? Alright, excellent. How does it make you feel, opponent? Kefnit's a weird one for them to have. If I draw an untapped land, we can Ravager Wurm the Kefnit. Yeah, Veil of Summer is good against the Esper decks until you try to play it and realize they have a Teferi in play, and you can't. If you're playing a deck that can pressure Teferi, it's definitely good. Especially in conjunction with the Ceratops, it's fine. Will Othakaya this hero next turn? Oh no! Not a Bell Hunt! How will I ever win the game now, opponent? I think I want to fight this. I can Othakaya this next turn. Not playing Gateway Plaza because we won't be able to pay the mana for it. It is nice to be able to catch Thought Erasure. You're not wrong. I wish Bag of Holding would be a sweet anti-Thought Erasure card if Teferi wasn't around to bounce it. It would be ideal. So here's an interesting thought. Do I actually wait? That's great. Do I actually wait on this Othakaya? Because I would like to... I think I'm supposed to wait on the Othakaya because if I
would like to test a new hypothesis.
if I Othakaya,
Need your research.
if I Oath, they're likely to want to Kaya's Wrath. But as long as this is in play, they probably don't want a Kaya's Wrath. We got a bunch of goodies in here we can pick back up to. Next turn, I can trophy their Kefnet and then enter the God Eternals, the Precinct one. Yeah, I agree. If Bag of Holding did something like Karn Cyniverse, it'd be much better. Are we gonna Kaya's Wrath into Kefnet here? We might say, yeah, this is a Kaya's Wrath into Kefnet. Which is fine, right? I'm still pretty far ahead here.
Subject is easily agitated.
And again, it's really important at this point that I start trying to pressure my opponent's life total. Because if they find Command the Dread Horde, the fact that I'm like super far ahead here is just rendered completely a non-factor. Because Command the Dread Horde is just like worth 12 cards while their health total is high. So this deck frequently just says like too many cards in its hand. It's just like, well, you know, I guess we're discarding. Do I even want to plus my Tamiyo here? I'm down to 29 cards in my deck. I might not want to plus my Tamiyo. I think I'm just gonna hang tight. I think we're gonna ditch Discovery here because I probably don't have time to play that out. Oh, I could minus for a land. That's a good suggestion. Is it? I kind of want to Thought Erasure them next turn. I can, like, pick Erasure up, like, Teferi draw step Erasure. Because, again, like, thinking about their outs is Command the Dread Horde. And I'm hitting them for 6 a couple of times. Once I deal 12 to them, that's no longer a good out. So if I'm able to, like, if I'm able to fade this turn, and then I can Erasure next turn to ensure it doesn't happen, and then the Niv-Mizzet hits them twice, and then once Niv-Mizzets hit them twice, it's no longer a good top deck, as good of a top deck. Never assume salty roping. Real life happens. Your kid comes in, your doorbell rings, your pizza finishes in the oven, you know. Sometimes things take precedent over the Vigi games. What's going on, Drakios? This is going to be our last match with the Niv deck. We've been running on this one for a little while. It's been a good run. I made a couple of mistakes, but the deck felt really powerful overall. The mono blue matchup's probably unwinnable, but that's unsurprising for my deck with my deck with this much clunk in it. So again, I'm taking the Thought Erasure this turn because I just want to not get Command the Dreadhorde. And once I've hit them twice with Niv-Mizzet, the Command the Dreadhorde doesn't really do as much. Oh no! Oh, I forgot to. Oh no! Oh no! I forgot to toggle the stop. Maybe they're AFK and it doesn't matter. Maybe they're AFK and it doesn't matter. They could also just draw a brick, but they drew Command the Dreadhorde. That's gonna be a yikes. Alright, well they didn't just blow up, so that means they came back. These Knight of Autumns in the main deck have been pretty mediocre. I might cut these from the 75, or cut them to the sideboard at least. We've been trimming them almost every game. Maybe I just trim these discoveries since they're kind of filler. I think I like the rest of these cards. This deck honestly might want more win condition. More win conditions in the main. Yeah, but like, so like they're mostly for, like for the Reclamation matchup to a degree, and they're also good against like mono red, but like I could like play a 4th Oathakaya in the main deck. I don't think I want Krasis in my deck because like this deck has a problem where like in the longer games it feels like it runs the risk of decking a lot of the time. So I feel like if I wanted another threat, I want it to be like I want it to be something that doesn't make me draw a pile of cards. Yeah, that's fine. Something I should be plugging a couple of times today. I've gotten a number of decks updated with M20 cards at the Standards deck page on my website. So if you're looking for sweet things to play in Standard, every season I kind of summarize the decks that I've found that are kind of off meta and the ones that I find fun to play that seem relatively competitive. You can always find them there. jeffhoagland.com/standard-decks. They shocked that in, so they're holding up a veto, right? I think I just play Temple and pass here and hold up a veto of my own. Just keep hitting land drops. I think it's probably veto. Absorb's a card these decks don't really play anymore. Like, obviously anything's possible, but yeah, the Aristocrats deck is one of my favorites. I'm playing in the Fandom Legend Standard event next week, and I think that's probably going to be the deck I play. So do I want to start jamming here is the question. I think so. Oh, if I cast, well, I can shock this in, right? If I shock this in, I can cast this and still hold veto. They have double veto. Yep. That is, that's a lot of no buttons. I actually don't really have a great answer to this hero at the moment, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that. Like, I have Assassin's Trophy, but I wouldn't really consider that, like, a good answer. I'm gonna leave that land there. Yeah, I'm playing 2 copies of the new enchantment in the Feather list. As always, if you're interested in what cards are in which decks coming up later on the stream, you can find them on the deck queue page on my website. So I let this veto happen, and then I get to go ahead and shock this in, which means this resolves, so their next veto is turned off. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card with this right away, because if they hit an untapped land next turn, they can contempt this. Hey, Munchkin, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Any thoughts to trophy the white source and hope for no basics? I think that's incredibly greedy and bad. I think most of these decks play basic plains, basic swamp these days, and trophy's a very valuable resource here. So like using a valuable resource basically trying to get cheeky seems like a giant waste.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Hey, Reptar Kodo, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic Saturday wherever you're at. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm gonna let that happen. I think a contempt getting burned on my little Teferi is a win for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw a card with this again right away. Just waiting on a Niv-Mizzet here basically so we can gas up. I'm gonna hold this veto for their 5 mana Teferi, I think. Just like fight over the threats basically. I'm gonna let that resolve. Because if they down ticket to draw a card right away, like I think they might, I get to kill it with Othakaya, which is fine. And if they plus it, I can Assassin's Trophy it, which will shuffle away the kept it. I think either of those situations are like, okay outcomes for us.
Suppose that's how it was meant to happen. Oh, I've done the
Angrath Rampage is like pretty good when you make it a better Diabolic Edict. And they cast this turn, we'll just go ahead and Rampage it off. Like, again, we're just, like, waiting to try and find, like, a sustained source of card advantage or a way to actually close the game out. Niv-Mizzet would let us start snowballing. Our opponent's stumbling, but we're flooding a little bit. So, like... we're gonna play Feather next, guaranteed. Might be 2 games from now, might be 1 game from now. Trophies and vetoes are good. Like, I don't have a way to really pull ahead and win this game, but I have clean answers to, like, my opponent's threats, and this is definitely a matchup where it's, like, last threat standing. We're 2 turns away from this drawing another card, which is nice. I definitely, as long as they have veto in their hand, I don't want to aggressively, down tick this. Because this is effectively turning off that card. There might have been merit to letting their Teferi resolve and holding the veto for a command the Dread Horde since they can't pressure their health total at the moment.
right on schedule.
I'm gonna go ahead and trophy this. So this way, if they want to get the land, they have to shuffle the God Eternal Kefnet away. Yeah, having 5 spells in hand is really scary. Because, like, I'm currently ahead, but, like, I do not have 5 spells in my hand.
Let's skip to the good part.
Alright. That's good. The fact that they didn't go get a land there implies that this is either land Dread Horde or just not Dread Horde. Could be land Dread Horde. Get 2 shots to draw a Niv this turn, so I'm gonna use this to bounce my Othakaya to draw an extra card. Tamiyo. That's exciting. Alright, well, now we're gonna do this. I think I'm gonna pick back up Thought Erasure here. And now we're gonna draw step this. All right, what'd you get? And then Tamiyo pluses to give us a bunch of looks at veto next turn, which is great. Unfortunately, even though I plus this, no overrules yes. So even though this says I can cast at instant speed, this says I can't. So I'm unable to cast anything at instant speed here. If they down tick this, I just get to bounce my oath this. So they're not down ticking it because they don't want it to die to the onboard oath trick, which means it's gonna die to the Angrath Rampage. So again, pretty solidly ahead here, basically just in the let's try not to die to command the Dreadhorde mode. I wonder if they're gonna mortify this. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
I think you will find my notes helpful.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think, again, with the how do I lose this game? I lose this game to command the Dreadhorde in mind. I'm just going to go ahead and draw step Thought Erasure again here because I plus this. Learning from our mistakes in the match I punted earlier. I'm actually going to go ahead and take Gaea's Wrath here. That's their answer to Niv-Mizzet. Actually, I'm going to keep that land because Niv-Mizzet's going to hopefully draw me a bunch of cards. And I'd like more mana after we draw a bunch of cards. Alright, and we should probably think about how I'm tapping this. So if I tap like this, it's going to leave up veto. I think I want to tap off of this, though. So let's do white here, black, green, blue. So this leaves up veto plus trophy, which seems ideal. Hey, Ectomanic, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. And then Tamiyo's at 3. So again, just thinking about how do I lose? I lose to Dreadhorde. Let's just cash her in and pick this veto up.
The storied past holds our future.
I'm just going to go ahead and draw a card with this for now.
I've got time.
Keep that hand full. Keep them from getting back in the game. And if they draw something we need to veto this turn, we get to veto it. Then we get to play Tamiyo, pick veto back up, and then hit them for 6. All right, good to end that one on a high note. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. This game was a great way to exemplify the hidden card advantage of Teferi. We sequenced in a way that allowed us to get Teferi onto the table, and then in addition to actually drawing a couple of cards, he gave us virtual card advantage by locking our opponent out of the game. So thoughts on playing this after the games that we played first is that I'm really proud of my 5-color mana base because I feel like between the mana base and our 3 copies of Lantern, we were able to very consistently cast all of the cards that we drew as we drew them. I think I'm going to cut both these knights out of the main deck, and I think I'm just going to round out with the 4th Oathakaya and a 3rd Assassin's Trophy in the main here. Or maybe a third Bedeck Bedazzle. Either way, the knights were pretty mediocre, and these cards were both very reasonable. I think I like favoring Bedeck over Trophy because Bedeck's easier to cast since it's black or red split. So you've got more lands that cast this versus green sources, which is nice. I'm not 100% sure you want 3 knights in the sideboard. I feel like I might want some other kind of... Like, what are 5, 6, 7 cost? 5, 6, 7 cost 2 color bombs. I feel like I want some other kind of threat that's like not Hydroid Krasis because I don't want to risk decking. But I felt like I was risking decking a few times in some of those more grindy games, and I wouldn't mind having some amount of ways to have another way to win the game. Tollsmear could be okay. He's double green though, right? Maybe a Vraska Relic Seeker. I could see this. Old Niv's another card that you run the risk of decking on. Yeah, so that would be my thought. I want to put some thought into and try different alternative cards to the sideboard that Niv can draw that help me win the game without running the risk of decking myself. Angrath, 6 mana Vraska's probably the best choice at a glance. She's also a really good flexible answer for a variety of things too. Hey, high speed run. Thanks for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. All right, we're gonna move along to the next one here today. If you're new to the